indie comic recently.
Yeah.
And we're live.
No one has been
Yeah.
to. It's
And we're live.
Hello and
no
welcome
one has
to the
been to.
podcast.
And we're live.
Hello and
Yeah, no
welcome
one has
to
been
your
to.
hosts. And
Yeah.
these are our topics.
Yeah, let's get started.
Oh
Ultimate.
yeah,
Let's get started.
we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
All right.
you know.
Off to topic one. JMD Mateus is
No,
and
that's not
Todd.
topic one. Sorry,
Oh,
I'm trying to rearrange my stuff here. Give me a minute. I gotta
Yeah, I
go
get
ahead
it.
and do
Yeah, I get it.
live. Don't know why I did the
I'll
stream
be
as
anywhere
ending
about
soon
it.
for our tab, but we are starting with Stan Lee.
An original
all right.
documentary.
The documentary. I'm kind of interested to see how this works and how he had what kind of involvement he had with these types of characters. Like how he was like kind of more or less the pioneer of the Marvel age of comics.
Yeah, like
I'm kind
to
of
be honest,
interested to see that.
I don't want like a really idealized documentary about Stan Lee. Uh, if I was making this documentary, like I'd probably go to a more objective route, like talking about both the things he did right and the things he did wrong. But still, I'm excited. I want to see how this is gonna turn out.
Yeah.
That I could agree with. I hope it is objective in that way, but you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
it
it'd be
just
his 100th birthday too.
it'd be his 100th birthday.
Yeah, I get it.
So
Like, I
yeah, I'm super excited
yeah.
to see how the to see how this unfolds, to see how they can pretty much speak about it. It looks like from the promotional material, it looks like they're going to talk about like Spider-Man, Thor, Iron Man, maybe the Avengers.
Yeah, I think it's gonna focus mostly on the stuff that he's done and his
Yeah,
characters. But I do think we're gonna get like the Avengers might show up. At least the early like one that he did where he had his hands on it.
yeah, where him and Don Heck had to work together.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
don't think this is gonna be an objective look at him. It's going to be heavily through like a Disneyfied praising him kind of lens.
yeah.
To be honest, him, Jack Kirby, Don Heck, everybody at the Marvel bullpen in the '60s deserves this level of praise.
Yeah, they
Agreed.
do.
Like,
Yeah,
just wanna say something. Like, I want like a segment about the X-Men that is just Stan Lee didn't have any ideas, so he was like, "Let's write the sci-fi plot of the week." Sci-fi. Okay, Jack. Okay, let's do it. And then
Yeah.
the book gets canceled like 60
that's
issues
how
later.
that's how like that's how these Marvel like specials typically talk about things. Like it's like, okay, we're doing good. We're talking about other characters, right? And then 15 minutes in, it's
Here we
just like
go. Yeah,
the
they
X-Men.
list all the characters that he was prominently with.
Yeah, like they talk about the Avengers and stuff like that. So it's gonna be like Iron Man, Thor, Spider-Man, like everybody he had a big hand in creating.
Yeah.
Right.
I like how Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, don't let our mutual acquaintance see this.
Yeah.
With these two getting top billing in the list, and then the Avengers is at the bottom.
Yeah. Well, he probably has. That's the sad thing, because he's dumb. But the the other thing we got to take into account here is that like I hope they talk about Roy Thomas.
Yeah.
I hope they talk about Roy. There's another reason why why our mutual acquaintance shouldn't see this. It's because he's gonna be like, okay, but like, where's Jack Kirby's?
Yeah, exactly. Stan Lee stole from Jack Kirby.
Well,
Jack Kirby deserves all the respect. Like,
I
there's a
wouldn't
case
say
to be
all the
made.
respect.
But
I wouldn't say all the respect. Like, I wouldn't say he deserves all the respect. But I feel like the general public really underestimates the role that Jack Kirby has had on Marvel history.
oh yeah,
I feel like they're as a result they're really aggressive about other characters too. Like not other characters, other creators. Like they're aggressive. They take what Jack Kirby says to heart, and then they're like, well, because he said it, I have to believe that.
yeah,
You know, like he said something negative about this creator, so you know, I'm gonna say what he. I'm only gonna parrot what he said, and it's just like Jack Kirby is a true talent, and I do agree he got messed over by some pretty influential people. Like some people, some big people took advantage of him, and he does deserve his due. But
yeah,
that doesn't make it okay for you to that doesn't make it okay for you guys to disrespect those types of people. Some of these people, like guys like Roy Thomas and the others, you know, they kind of do deserve a little, you know, some respect.
Not gonna
They
lie,
created
I
a
wish.
lot of big characters.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I wish to see like documentaries like this on other big creators. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, like one on Chris Claremont or on Peter David or Brian Michael Bendis. You know, people who have been extremely influential in the Marvel Comics field.
I think they really need one for Kurt Busiek, but that's just my fanboy speaking.
yeah,
And
Yeah,
objective,
yeah, I get it. I feel the same about Chris Claremont and Grant Morrison. You know.
objective, but objectively, I would say that um, Kurt Busiek kind of is like responsible for like really getting people to focus on like what separates Marvel from other distinguished game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like what Stan Lee did. You know, Stan kind of set the Stan kind of more or less created the board, right? And then everybody became a player. He did
Uh,
revolutionize it. Like, there's no denying that. When people try to downplay that, I find that to be disrespectful. But you
also,
know, it
just
is the
want
way
to say,
that Stan fought towards Jack Kirby, so it makes sense. And even Stan's admitted himself.
yeah,
yeah. Also, just want to say that Stan Lee really has a great way to do dialogue. You know, his dialogue, when you read it, it's really modern in a way. Like, yeah, it still feels like it's something written like 50 years ago, but like, it it's pretty enjoyable for the time, and it's actually quite funny sometimes.
oh yeah.
It sounds good. You know, it sounds
Yeah. So, what's the next topic?
Let's see here. The next topic is comics are moving to Marvel Unlimited.
Ooh.
So this is kind of a big thing. They're going to close down the Marvel Comics app by Comixology, and they're going to move everything over to Marvel Unlimited. This is
yeah.
a very big thing. There's a lot of pros with it, but there's also a lot of cons with it. I'm pretty lucky because our comic shop did open up here again. So I'm actually kind of good, but at the same time, it's also like, you know, I was in a situation where I almost was like, I'd have to pirate comics because the only way for me to read comics is on Comixology, and they're closing that down. So,
Yeah, I get it. Like this whole thing about comicsology like really seems like it was an incentive for people to pirate comics in a way. Like
yeah.
um so I really don't have a lot to say about this. Um yeah, this episode is really quiet.
No, it's fine. So,
Yeah.
yeah, this is actually, to me, kind of big news. Marvel does have plans for digital, people that read digitally, they have plans for that. They just haven't announced anything about it. Everything you
Yeah,
did purchase though, will be transferred over.
yeah. But like,
Yeah.
yes, I find a really smart move that Marvel hasn't announced anything. Just because I believe you need to announce something when you have like a solid foundation and an idea. Like maybe they're working on something very efficient. So I'm trusting that.
Yeah. As I said here, that they're gonna support our loyal fans and that they will be making digital purchases prior to May 2nd on the Marvel Comics app, operated by Comixology, to be accessible on the Marvel Unlimited app. So all of your comics will be available on the Unlimited. So if you purchase the new comic or whatever, you'll be able to access it on Unlimited. So that's like if you got a comic, before a certain date, like before it shows up on Unlimited, I believe that means you're able to read it still. So that's really nice. Now to do that, you're gonna have to link your Marvel accounts, but that's not hard to do. That's part of the actual process with it. And they have a slight timeline here. So the app will be kind of functional, but you really can't do anything after May 2nd. Like May 2nd's the cutoff date, so and then it actually will close down on June 2nd. Um, yeah, through Amazon as well as select Marvel Digital Comics, be available through purchase through Google Play Books, Apple iBooks, Nook, as well as Digital Library. We're working on more options for digital comics readers, and more information will be available in the coming months. So, yeah, they're trying to find a way to do this. The redeem system does still work. So if you do purchase an actual comic, you can do like the redeem or whatever. So yeah, that's pretty useful here. Eh.
Okay.
So
It's a need, definitely.
so this is pretty big. I don't know if like Rocket Man, you have anything to say about it?
Uh, yeah, I think it was a bad idea just to announce it pretty early if they're saying they got plans because you don't know how long it'll take them to announce their new plan.
Yeah.
Uh,
That is a
in
very
a
good
way,
point.
So I
yeah.
think so. Just to chime in on this, um, I think it's a good thing just because now it's going to incentivize, like people who do go to comic book shops. I always loved the fact that that was the incentive. If you go to a comic book shop, if you support your comic book shop, Marvel gives you a free digital comic, right? You get two comics for the price of one, right?
Yeah,
Essentially.
and also, like you said, this really helps comic book shops, especially in the current age where we
Yeah.
live in.
Like
Yeah.
Like,
post-COVID,
we're,
comic book
we're
shops.
digitalizing a lot more. Like, comic book shops, people
You
usually
get to
don't.
support small business like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a big deal. That's Marvel really is really nice about that. That's great, right? It incentivizes you to go to the comic book shop again. Uh, the thing that I also think is that's a good thing because now it's just like, oh, you go to the shop, you get your comic, and Marvel's like, well, you can't buy comics off of you can't like buy them off of Unlimited, but they are working on ways to be like, well, if you don't have a shop next to you, yeah, there's going to be a way for you to access newer comics immediately. Uh, and we got this all from their Twitter thread. Hello. Right. Hey.
hi.
Yeah. That is, I think, one of the biggest
Um,
things.
Who was that?
it
Uh,
was MC Man. I'm gonna chime in on this. Yes, so like even though it does help comic book shops, you have to factor in that it doesn't mean that comic book shops will automatically be open around the world
yeah.
because everything is now digitalized. So they're basically losing a bunch of customers off doing that. And yeah, let's say it would open a bunch of comic book stores. You don't know how long that would take. It would take months to actually open one back up. And a bunch of people don't have any comic book stores available, so they're going to have to resort to pirating or anything else.
Yeah,
So
I get it.
Yeah.
they could have I don't know, announced it later when they had an idea of what they want to do next, but they gotta deal with what they have now.
Yeah, I get it.
And
Thanks for your opinions,
No,
Rocket.
and that's something I understand, Rocket, and that's something that I even factored in too, where it's just like not everybody has a comic shop, not everybody can go to one, which is why it's just like that they're kind of thinking of ways to kind of make it. They're gonna try and circumvent that, right? Marvel Limited doesn't have it all over the world, so yeah, of course, pirating is gonna be more prominent everywhere else, but for Marvel Limited is here in the States, this is a big get. This actually does inspire you to do it. And I feel like they should be making Marvel Unlimited worldwide. But no plans are in the pipeline for that as of now.
yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on here to our next topic. We have probably the best one.
Oh my god!
Zeb Wells is being told not to go to conventions. Over outrage. He basically said fans will be very mad at me, and this is on the anniversary of Gwen Stacy's death. This is big. So he said that I can tease that many people will be very mad at me. I can tease that editor Nick Lowe told me not to do any comic conventions this week after the issues come out. Wells told Popverse, people will be upset. This is huge.
This is the hate watching and hate reading are the biggest problem with current day media.
Yeah.
Like seriously, y'all should stop just watching and reading stuff you don't like just to give it more fame. Guys? Like seriously. Like, okay, Zeb Wells Spider-Man is bad. Okay, you've repeated that like a billion times. You can stop reading it. You can read something else.
And that's something that I feel like the internet is starting to get a little bit more wise to. They're like, oh well, rage reading is still reading, right?
No, it's not. It is. I mean, yeah, it is, but
you're still reading the book, which is something that it's like, well, I pirate the book, so it means I can escape that, and it's just like not necessarily, no, because you're still deciding to take this conversation on social platforms, so you're still contributing to the way that the book is still being received.
Just do
everything. Yeah.
If you want to say, oh, I pirate the book. You know what you should do? You should pirate the book, yes. But also, you should stop talking about it with anyone in your life.
That's why it's important to don't even discuss it. Right?
Yeah,
don't even talk about it. Where it's just
else.
if it's not worth, yeah, exactly. Read something else. Go read Transformers. Go read G.I. Joe. Go read Saga. Go read Batman. Go read Thor. Go read Captain America. There's other things, guys.
Go read Sins of Sinister. Or if you want really your Spider-Man fix, in a few months they're gonna announce Uncanny Spider-Man.
You guys have to, with Spider-Man, you guys have to learn to speak with your wallet and with your mouth. You gotta let it go sometimes.
There are so many fucking good Spider-Man books on shelves. The current Miles Morales book? You know that?
You really want Renew Your Vows to come back? Go buy the trades.
Yeah.
Start talking about it.
And shame on Marvel for telling us which issue it is.
Yeah.
By the way, shame on them for telling us which issue. You don't know when it's gonna, it would have been well, you don't know when it's gonna happen. Now they're like, oh, issue 26, be looking out for that. That's them promoting the book. You know that, right?
Yeah,
so
I
that
know.
way you know. So that way you know, yeah. That way you know where it's gonna be issue 26 is where it's gonna fucking pop off, and it's just like, oh, okay, good job. Now I know what to expect from you.
Yeah.
Where it's just but to be fair, you guys haven't really supported books like Renew Your Vows, right?
Yeah.
Again, even the Pirates, where it's just like, okay, but that would be the time that you do speak with your wallet,
Yeah, exactly. When they
right?
do something that you wanted and you don't pay attention to it, you pay attention to the trash. Like,
Uh-huh.
God, it is
Because you want to
dumb.
complain. Yeah,
And it's like they're
there's
doing this just to get people riled up because, I mean, I've said it before, this is like a feedback loop. You're just constantly feeding into them. Marvel knows that they can just, instead of provide them something that's actual good writing, instead they can provide them this fucking trash, and people keep
yeah,
buying it.
and that's something that's very important too, where this is the day and age that we are in Marvel Comics, where it's just like, we know you guys will read the Spider-Man book if we do something horrible,
Yeah.
and it's just like, okay, well, can you guys try giving us what we want? We can. They do it, and then they're like, okay, well, we're not reading that, and it's just like, all right, well, Parker Industries, it is then.
Yep.
Sorry, right? And it's just like they wouldn't be here if you guys didn't keep buying the book and complaining about it, right? That's
Yep.
where we're at. Like, sometimes you guys forget bad press is still press,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say, the people who still continue to read this book despite hating it are really miserable to me. Like, how?
All press is good press, and that good and bad. And
Yeah.
when exactly with what you're saying, Xavier, they're choosing to be miserable. I've had discussions with other people about this, and they've chosen to be miserable. And I said, okay, but how are you going to know the difference between a bad Spider-Man book and a good Spider-Man book? Because as of now, you don't know.
Well, maybe just look for miniseries.
Yeah.
Those are pretty good
Well,
usually.
they don't know, because they're like, everybody's complaining about this book. I have to have an opinion. Which, by the
Yeah.
way, that's not why you read comics. By the way, that's actually a bad reason.
Yeah.
And I
That's
know
not how
that
you
sounds really,
consume any piece of media.
yeah, like
You know why you could?
that sounds a little gatekeepy. It might be, but again, if you're just reading comics to be in the know, then I'm sorry, it's kind of a bad reason to be reading comics. You
Yeah.
should be
Yeah.
reading comics to enjoy yourself. It's entertainment,
Yeah, it should
Yeah.
be something that you're
right?
enjoying personally. Like, that's why I read like the Wasp and Janet and Nadia stuff, because I like the character, not because I want to sit down on Twitter all day, having shit post rants about everything and like going, "Oh my god, did you believe what Nadia did this time? She's such a bad character." Like, no, that's not what I
Yeah, where it's
do.
just like,
To be honest, it's a limiting way to look at art. Just looking at it as what everyone's reading slash watching. So I read it slash watch it. Like, you know,
yeah,
Yeah.
art is supposed to be something that you can find meaning to. It's something that you can uh, watch and read at your own pace to find that thing that speaks to you. The
Yeah.
makes you laugh, makes you cry, makes you disgust even some forms of art and some particular forms of art. But you know, all I'm saying is that Spider-Man fans should really reevaluate how they read comics. And I'm doing this stupid
well,
disregard.
some of them say they don't even like the Marvel universe, and it's just like, well, okay, go read DC, and it's just like,
Go read The
no, I don't
Walking
care.
Dead.
Go
Go
read The
read The
Walking
Walking Dead.
Dead. Try something else then. If you don't want to do Marvel, do something else.
Yeah, go read Invincible. Go read Superman. Superman is always pretty good. You know.
Yeah.
It typically is, but this type of story, this type of piss and vinegar is going to continue on, and we'll see what happens by issue 26. I know we're not going to be talking about it because we don't read the book.
Can we
Yeah,
talk
we're not
about
gonna read it.
how
We're
Action
not gonna
Comics so
cover
far
it.
is really good?
What we're really talking about here is, wow, you guys are too much. Shame on you for letting it get this far, right?
Yeah,
But also shame on Marvel for instigating you.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're
Yeah.
that's that's what we're really saying right now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
not solely on one person. There's like two sides that cause it to happen.
Yeah, it's on both of you. Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely going to
Yeah.
be Mary Jane. I'm just going to say that this is on the anniversary of Gwen's death. Mary's going to.
For me, Norman is gonna die. Norman is gonna die.
You think it was going to be Norman? I'm almost certain it's going to be
I
Mary
think
Jane.
I think it's
too
gonna be
obvious.
Norman. I think it's gonna be Norman just because like they went through all of this time just to be like, yeah, he went through this like arc and he's reformed as a person and he's different now, and that's what I feel like Zeb Wells is gonna be like. Yeah, it's emotionally whatever, but just judging by the interaction with this, I think it's hard to tell because Spider-Man fans lose their shit for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
Spider-Man
even
I'm
if it
just
was like
thinking though.
Oh
even
my
if it
god!
was even if it was like Aunt May or something like that, they'd still be like, what? Why'd you have to kill May? May doesn't bring back May. And it's just like May hasn't been a character for quite some time. So
Yeah,
no.
I was about to
Hasn't
make a
been a
joke
character
about
since
like,
the beginning of this.
let's not bring back the old hag that doesn't do anything. But I mean, like to me, this is like
Yeah.
on the anniversary of Gwen Stacy's death. They're mucking up the cover to look very similar to the cover from when Gwen died. It's like
Oh, the death of Gwen Stacy? No, it's more like Spider-Man Blue.
it's more like
Yeah,
Spider-Man
the
Blue.
first one,
Okay,
the
because I
second.
kind of getting vibes from it from that one issue where she died in. I'm just getting vibes
But
with all the
but all
faces.
signs all signs do point to this, but Marvel typically does have a history with faking people out. Like I remember the Colossus and Kitty Pryde wedding, and instead it was like, no, Rogue and Gambit got married instead.
Yeah, because
Okay.
who wants Colossus and Kitty Pryde to get married? I'll tell you who.
Right. I remember when they pulled that shit. Right.
Yeah,
By the
I
way, that
haven't
was
been in Marvel that long. I've
I-
only been in this stuff like in the game for like a year now, so
Yeah, that's why I'm glad, Xavier and I can explain it to you. Even Rocket's like, yeah, they fake people out. Like they did it at DC at the same time. They were like, hey, Batman might marry Catwoman. And it's just like, actually, no, never mind.
yeah.
They do this, so it could be a fake out, right? It could just be something else. Like, oh, hey, they might be just hyping it up and just being like, oh, well, no, somebody did die. It might have been Paul or maybe the kids, which is just
Yeah.
horrible.
Hey, so returning to the cover looks like the Death of Gwen Stacy cover. I just want to say the second cover looks kind of like the Death of Gwen Stacy.
Yeah,
cover.
that's what I was
With
getting
all
at.
the
It's the
films.
second cover that
Yeah.
looks like it. That's very
The first one
The
reminiscent.
looks
night
like
Gwen Stacy
The first
died,
one
yeah.
doesn't though. The first one I know is like different, some other thing, but the second one though is like really
Yeah.
reminiscent of it. So
Yeah.
I
yeah.
watch them like kill Spider-Man instead. Like Peter's gonna.
I mean,
die.
there was an issue with time. Like, there's this issue called Timeless, right,
Yeah.
from 2020, and in the issue, right, Kang teases like the entire smorgasbord of what's going to happen in the Marvel universe, and one of them was like Mary Jane suiting up as Spider-Man,
Hey,
right?
So they kill Spider-Man
You
and then they
want
make
my
Mary
theory on
Jane
this?
Spider-Man. Let's fucking go. That'll get them
Yeah.
pissed.
y'all want my theory on this?
Absolutely.
Right, but
Really weird.
here's the thing: most of it's been honored. That Timeless issue. Before you go, Xavier, I'm sorry. Most of that Timeless issue has been honored, except for like Ben Reilly going to Hollywood, and like the Young Avengers that they promised. Most of these things have been honored, right?
Yeah.
Like Captain America and Bucky going back to war with one another, and a few other things have happened too. So like they've been pretty careful on handling how this was gonna pretty much turn out,
Yeah.
right? They pretty much they were predicting what's gonna happen for Marvel Comics going full circle. Right. I'm right now. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the image because there was like Lord of Mercy. It was they weren't messing around. They were like, no, you can expect this. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. All right, Xavier, what were you saying? What's your little theory?
So, my theory, it's weird, it's insane, it's crackpot, but that Spider-Man, that redheaded Spider-Woman, it's not Mary Jane. It's Peter and MJ's daughter, and those kids, the kids, are Peter and MJ's kids who have been raised by Paul.
Yep.
That's my theory.
I can,
That's
I
the
can,
truth
I can,
revealed.
I can, and here's the thing, I can see that, right? Where it's like MJ might have been pregnant in that other Earth and she dies, but the kids kind of grow up, and then it's like Peter's daughter gets to become Spider-Man.
Oh
I'll
God.
send you the image. Like there's like they honored most of this, like the Iron God thing. That's something that they honored. The Young Avengers thing, they have not. The Punisher running the hand, they have Captain America and Bucky fighting, the new Iron Fist, Doyle Dormammu fighting, um, a new symbiote invasion, they've honored that. Really weird stuff happening in Ravencroft, honored that. The Thanos thing, I don't think they're ever gonna honor that because it's too late.
Yeah.
So yeah, here I posted it in Comic Cast, and I'm
Okay.
going to show you the full image. This is like this is most of the stuff on this page they've honored, right? Which makes me believe like this Spider-Man thing down on the top, like down on the bottom right, is like, oh yeah, that's happening.
Is that Storm as Black Panther?
Something like that.
God.
Right? Jack of Hearts did come back too.
Oh, they brought that nobody back? Holy crap.
Hey,
Yeah,
listen! I am the biggest Jack of Hearts fan. He might be a nobody. He's my nobody.
Jesus, man, you got defensive over that. Holy shit.
only
Yeah.
six only 7 of these things
Yeah,
on this
while I was
page.
reading comics, Jack of Hearts was the only character who I saw in the comics, and I said,
Only
"Oh my God, it's literally me."
only 6 of these things have came to pass on this timeless issue to where I'm like, yeah, they're probably going to honor that in particular. But what can you do? Um, speaking of
Yeah.
that,
Alright.
um,
Give me 1 minute to close out of this.
What's the next topic?
Next topic.
Marvel Age, Marvel Age 1000 celebrates Marvel's comics. Oh, you're talking about the Spider-Man thing.
No, it
Yeah.
should be Marvel Age.
Yeah, it was Marvel Age.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's at the
I'll
end.
discuss it when we get there.
So Marvel Age Superstar creators celebrate Marvel Comics birthday in Marvel Age 1000. And it's got big people like JMS, Dan Slott, Rainbow Rowell. It's got Mark Waid,
Rainbow
Stephen
Rowell looks like
McNiven,
Marvel.
Jason Aaron, Ryan Stegman, and Adam Kubert.
And
Oh,
a
plus
lot
there's going to be
There's
more.
probably be even more people. And I'm so hyped for this shit, dude. This
Yes.
is gonna be awesome.
Typically Busick never skimps out on stuff like this. Like he's always front and center when it comes to stuff like this. So I can't wait. They said there's gonna be more. So this is gonna be a beefy fucking issue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I hope. I got a lot of hopes for this.
I imagine it's gonna be like that Amazing Fantasy 1000 issue that came out last year, which was basically a trade paperback.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like this is gonna like set things right with the Marvel universe. Right? It's gonna be like that because they're gonna be talking about some very interesting situations going on with this book.
Oh yeah. There's a lot. There is so much in here. We have JMS and Kara Andrews. Excuse me, create a Marvel universe in the backyard. That is going to be very interesting.
Yeah,
Dan Slott, Michael Alfred depict a crucial point for Captain Marvel. That is going to be interesting. I'm really excited. Rainbow Rowell and Marguerite Savage, relationship between Cyclops and Jean Grey. That'll be interesting. The OG
Yeah.
Human Torch finds his purpose thanks to Mark Wade. Let's fucking go. Silver Surfer confronts. Oh, this I'm not looking for this one. This one I am not looking forward to, just because it's got Mephisto here. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't care about
Mephisto
that.
is a cool character, but
No,
y'all
he's
are
not. He's overused, and it's just he should have stayed with
overused.
Spider-Man.
When is he used except for Spider-Man books?
Have you not been reading the current Avengers run? That whole run has
No,
involved
I haven't.
Mephisto.
I do productive things with my free time.
Good. Be productive. Don't read trash. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I discovered new particles in quantum physics. I didn't have the time to read that fucking Avengers book.
Good.
Or-
I like how we're getting heated over fucking.
Do not read that book.
Stay away from Jason Aaron. Oh
I
god.
love how these
Worst
conversations
Avengers
go.
book.
And
Worst Avengers
speaking of him.
Yeah, Aaron's gonna have a story in there.
Aaron writes Thor well, so I don't think like it's that
No!
problem.
That was that Avengers issues where fucking Moon Knight was like, and Thor, your hammer is made of moon rock.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking about this Thor run. I was talking about the God Butcher, you know?
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. I hope that he retcons the fucking moon rock shit, or I'm gonna be furious.
I hope he retcons the Phoenix thing, because the Phoenix thing was more annoying.
Yeah, that is also. There's like a lot of annoyances. Can we just admit that part?
Isn't the whole
Yeah.
run deserving of a retcon?
Yeah, we need to just act like that never happened.
Like,
Ryan Stegman explores the support network of Spider-Man's friends and family. That's gonna be kind of cool.
That's gonna be a
Arnaldo-
good issue, because people tend to forget what Spider-Man is about,
Yeah.
right? They're like, it's about Spider-Man and his costume. It's like, no. It's about him and his life and his friends.
But
and
he
how
doesn't need
how-
that. You know what he needs? He
what
needs to
kind
be
of
webbing
what
up
kind of
people.
what kind of superhero can you be if you're like what kind of superhero can you be if you're always like dropping like promises with like your friends and girlfriend or whatever? Like, how does that look? That's the interesting thing about Spider-Man. It's not
Yeah.
just he needs to be married, and it's just like I wouldn't even say he needs to be married. I feel like they need to do something else. They need to do something big. They need to think outside of the box with Spider-Man. They need to be like they need to go back to stories where he's just like a guy, and they need to be about him, not about the villain or like
or
the situation or the
Or
status quo. It needs to be about him. That's
Yeah.
what Spider-Man books are forgetting, and this is why it's a good thing that we're gonna see a
Like,
story
to be
about his
honest,
friends.
Can I just say something? Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man by Tom Taylor is the last book that has done this well. Like, really well.
Make sure.
I think Spencer's Spider-Man does that well.
Okay, fair. Those two. are the best. Like,
Yeah, we
Spencer's
were in the Spider-Man Renaissance in 2018. Like oh my god, no, the Spider-Man Renaissance was really in the 2000s,
Yeah.
right? From 2000 to like 2006, it was like, oh my god, you just had like the best Spider-Man stuff, like back to back to back. You know what I mean? But then you go to like today or like 2018, and it's just like there was some really solid stuff with Spider-Man.
like-
Like in 2016 especially. 2016, oh my god, we had Spidey Renew Your Vows, and we had like other books that were just like incredible with Spider-Man. They did Friendly Neighborhood in 2018. It was just like,
Yeah.
wow, this is really good.
You forgot Chip Zdarsky's spectacular Spider-Man in 2017. That was also awesome.
Did I forget Chip Zdarsky's?
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
Speaking of Chip Zdarsky,
What a shame.
that is awesome. Y'all should read
Forgot.
it.
Oops. My bad. I forgot Chip Zdarsky.
Listen, I get it. You're not a fan of him, or whatever, or you have kind of this thing. But I am a huge Chip Zdarsky fan, and
You're a chip head.
yes, I am a chipmunk.
You're a chipmunk.
Chipmunk. But yeah, see, we got other stuff here. We got like a Daredevil by Armando Lancini.
Up against a
And-
very human problem. I watch it be the Punisher. That'd be funny.
I would love to see something human with Daredevil other than him just like talking down to other superheroes because that's what Chip Zdarsky thinks is cool about Daredevil.
Yeah,
Or
I
just
just
like-
want him to like go up to Daredevil or to Punisher and be like, "Okay, stop being a little bitch."
Just
Yeah,
want to
like-
say like the first arc of Daredevil 2019 was just Daredevil being depressed and being framed for a murder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then you have like other situations where he talks down to like Iron Man and Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah,
Two of the
there's
greatest
like
minds in the
moments
Marvel
like where he's like, "I can't join a team because like I'm gonna get sensory overloaded." You get times.
Oh, that was
where-
in the 90s.
Yeah, I
yeah,
know
that
that
was
was in the
that was in the-
90s. I think he's changed since then though. He's probably been on. Yeah, he's been on teams. But
He's been with the Avengers before, and he's been on the Defenders, which is just like it's more cope, just to be like it's plot armor about like this is why Daredevil doesn't talk to anybody. It's just like yeah, it's a wonder why, and then Chip Zdarsky just has him talk down to like Mr. Fantastic and Iron Man.
then
we
it's
talk-
like
I don't
really
like though. I
weird.
don't like Zdarsky's way of like
Is
picturing
it me
Iron-
or like I personally didn't view Daredevil and Mr. Fantastic talking as like him talking down to Mr. Fantastic. I viewed it as a kind of a discussion about faith. Like maybe it's just me viewing like the whole I'm agnostic line from Reed and taking it a little bit too far.
Oh no, it wasn't that. I was talking about the one where it's just like he's just like, hey, you'll be fine in a couple of months, and Daredevil's just like, you're a smart man, Reed, but you're too busy about optics and all this other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if you just didn't think as hard, and it's just like, all right, Daredevil, the next time Galactus rolls into town, you think for us, huh? You take care of it. How does that sound? Right?
I would imagine Daredevil versus a Galactus invasion. That'd be pretty funny.
Or like, and then the thing about Iron Man, the thing that bugs me about his Iron Man is that he just makes Tony cartoonishly like stupid. Like he makes him cartoonishly like, I'm rich and I don't see the problem with me being rich.
Yeah.
It's just like
So he's basically how Tony would act in real life.
he's pretty much like Tony Stark just being like, hey, I'm helping. And he's like, yeah, but you don't do enough. And it's just like, I'm sorry, Matt. The Maria Stark Foundation, damage control, right?
Yeah, but like
There's like
so,
things that Tony does that he helps on a bigger scale instead of having a fanatical devotion to a fucking cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Good job,
I just want
right?
to add
Way to
this.
go.
I just want to add this with
And
Daredevil.
guys who erect ninja temples in the middle of New York don't get to throw stones about doing enough.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
Listen.
saying.
listen, that ninja temple was awesome. But yeah,
I mean,
really
does
do-
it solve any crisis? Does it solve any problems?
Yes, the crime crisis. Who's gonna commit crimes when there's a fucking ninja temple there?
I mean, I see your point, but is it feeding the homeless? Is it supporting?
Yes, you can tell the ninjas. Hey, ninjas, go for the homeless.
But wouldn't the criminals see the ninjas feeding the homeless and go, "Wow, these are some weak ass pussy little ninjas. They care about the homeless and not being badass
Fucking
ninjas."
ninjas. Imagine if you see a ninja with like a fucking katana there. I don't know.
But that would have been good. That would have been good writing of Tony, just to be like, guys who erect ninja temples don't get to throw stones about doing enough,
Yeah.
right? That would have been a-okay, because Matt's just like, you don't do enough, and it's just like what are you talking about?
Yeah.
He's with the Avengers, safeguards the planet. You're worried about a neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
What are you?
It's a neighborhood in New York. The most
Right,
dangerous
but then,
part
like,
of the planet
anyway, moving-
in the Marvel universe.
We've kind of been here a little bit too long.
I just want to add
Yeah.
this though before we move on. I do like how the Unstoppable Wasp series handled Matt Murdock's character. I thought that was really
Yeah.
good. because he wasn't speaking down to Nadia and he was actually very supportive. But in that he wasn't in his Daredevil situation. He was actually like Matt Murdock, attorney at law, except for one scene where he spots Red Room agents trying to like assassinate Nadia and like her lab workers, and it's like outside of that, it's just Matt Murdock, attorney at law, and I thought that was kind of wholesome. But anyways,
Yeah, I feel like that is wholesome. The thing that I do want to talk about here real quick. Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
the thing I do want to talk about here real quick is the Dan Slott Captain Marvel thing. I wonder because they said it's a crucial turning point for her, and I'm thinking to myself, does that mean like they're going to talk about her alcoholism? Because the Iron Man book really didn't talk about, like the Iron Man and Avengers book spoke about it. But they were like, yeah, she came back in a big way. I like how the Avengers book today is going to talk about it, but
I hope that when Dan Slott talks about alcoholism, like takes a page from what Kelly Thompson is doing in the book and doing
yeah,
in the Captain Marvel book, because she has done it in a very respectful way and a very human way. Like comic recommendation of the day, guys: read Captain Marvel by Kelly Thompson. It's really good.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I gotta check it out.
Yeah,
Captain Marvel by Kelly Thompson is very good.
yeah.
I can. Kenzie and I have been reading Kelly Thompson's Captain Marvel.
Are you reading Kelly Thompson's Captain Marvel? Awesome, man!
Reading the current one right now, but the other one, I don't know. Um, However, we're going to move on to Spider-Man coming to Disney Plus. Let's say Disney XD. Shit. Let's say Disney Plus.
Yeah,
Oh,
showing
Disney
your
XD.
age, just
But
like me.
I know. And then so right now we have all of this. We have Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, and TASM. Personally, this is the stuff that I feel like Spider-Man fans are a little bit more positive about.
The
They're a
movies.
little bit open. Yeah, they're way more positive about
What
when they talk about.
Spider-Man fans you know, man? Like most of the Spider-Man fans I saw online just love to argue about the movies, whichever ones are good, whichever ones are garbage. By the way, if you say that like Amazing Spider-Man 2 is better than the MCU ones, you're cringe.
Yes, based.
They do talk about this a lot, but that's one of those things that I'm really okay with them coming to Disney Plus. I kind of feel like Marvel is trying to make this a one-stop place for Marvel. When you think Marvel, they want you to think Disney, and I'm like, yep, I can see that. Granted, they still don't have the Incredible Hulk on there, but
Yeah.
you know,
Because it's the Incredible Hulk, they forgot about it. Like the
we're
people
gonna be
listing
getting
on-
Venom. We're gonna be getting Venom, and I've even spoken about this with Vlad and a few other people. I was like, well, wouldn't the Raimi trilogy and TASM be Marvel Legacy? Because they're not
Yeah.
really canon. Well, no, because they are technically canon per No Way Home. It's just like, well, they should be Marvel Legacy because
Yeah.
they're not.
I mean,
They're not. Like, Venom wasn't there.
and isn't it in No Way Home? Like, what is it? The context behind it that makes it
So
canon?
they pull them from the multiverse. So essentially, they just kind of like come in.
I don't
And
consider that really canon.
but the villains from those movies are the central conflict, to where they're like, oh, okay, so villains from other Earths. Like there was a multiversal Sinister Six in this movie,
I mean, to me,
except that
like,
they don't have a sixth member,
yeah, I don't see that as canon.
so it's the Fearsome Five or whatever.
Yeah, I see that just like very loosely, maybe canon, but not really. That's like,
Yeah,
because it's not the mainline continuity. This is another reality. This is from the multiverse. This is
No,
like
like-
saying that everything that shows up in like the Spider Verse stuff is canonical to the Spider Verse universe.
well,
Like,
people are trying to say that. They're
Wait.
trying to.
like PlayStation, you know, the PS Spider Man, whatever the fuck it's called. I'm gonna piss people off by not knowing the name, but
Insomniac-verse Spider-Man?
Whatever. It's
Yeah,
a
the
5-year-old game.
yeah, the Insomniac verse
Yeah.
Spider Man is now canon to the Spider Verse. Like, Not really. Just because it makes an appearance, then it doesn't mean it's canon. It made an appearance, but that's a different continuity. That's a different timeline.
What were you gonna say, Rock? What were you gonna say, Rocket?
I mean, like, they're trying to pull in characters into like the main continuity, so
Yeah, if you watch No Way Home, Vlad, you could just tell it like that was such a Sony idea to be like, hey, Toby and Andrew. And that's coming to like the movie when you arrive at No Way Home, that's all people really cared about. They were like Toby and Andrew. That's why whenever there's discussions about the movie, Toby should have been Peter 1, Andrew should have been Peter 2, and Tom should have been Peter 3 because he's the worst one. And
Yeah,
it's just
but
like
guys,
it doesn't really matter.
This discourse is stupid. Like, like I totally imagine the Peter in the universe saying, "So who should be Peter 1?" Well, the one who came
Nobody
out
cares.
first.
Nobody cares. And that's the other thing where it's just like you could just tell, but like the fact that these movies are coming on to Disney Plus is a really good thing. At least you know where you can get your Marvel fix if you are looking for one. Like right now we have some of the best Spider-Man stuff there. We've got the 90s show, we've got the Spectacular Spider-Man, we've got the Raimi trilogy, the first
I wanna
Taz movie,
rewatch
and on the
Homecoming.
12th we're gonna have Homecoming.
Yeah.
Right?
Fantastic.
This is gonna be really, really good. We're gonna have some of the best Spider-Man stuff on Disney Plus.
Yes.
As it
And I
should be.
cannot wait for them to announce Venom Let There Be Carnage in there, you know?
Oh, they said we're gonna be getting more Spider-Man stuff. So Far From Home and No Way Home are not far behind. Yeah, so
Absolutely.
they're not far behind. So I'm like kind of looking forward to this. You know?
Yeah, I cannot freaking wait to rewatch the MCU Spider-Man movies, and I cannot wait to rewatch Venom Let There Be Carnage.
Yeah, but again, the MCU Spider-Man movies are canon,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
the Raimi trilogy or TASM. And
Yeah,
not
they should be in Legacy.
they should be in Legacy because that's what they are. But now it seems like Marvel Legacy is referring to Marvel Animation before and during the MCU, back when Marvel Entertainment had it, and then now it's going to be
and the
like
Foxverse.
the Fox movie. Yeah, and the Foxverse, which doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah,
Where it's just like I thought anything that doesn't have Marvel with it is Legacy. Like I thought anything that doesn't contribute to the larger MCU is. Oh well, I mean, like they're gonna say like, well, Andrew and Toby do, and it's just like, but technically not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they need more
But
labels.
isn't
Is
the,
what they need. Having two
sorry.
labels is not going to help.
I think having two of them makes sense. Where it's just like it's canon and not canon. Where it's just like that's simple. I can understand that. But the thing that confuses me is like, okay, but why are these Legacy? And it's just like, well, because we don't want them to be. It's just like, okay. Glad to know. Glad to know Marvel Legacy's loose.
All right. Next up is the Flash merchandise. Oh boy.
Oh my god, I am. Oh my god, what the fuck is that?
That's Supergirl.
By the way, this is Kara Zor-El.
Supergirl.
Yeah, this is Kara
like
Zor-El.
That's Kara Zor-El. Like Kara Zor-El is like very. Kara Zor-El is kind of interesting to me because I remember the rumors coming out about this movie, and them saying that this is actually Superman's daughter.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah,
I mean, the actress that they chose was a good choice. We're just talking about this doll, and it does not look good. But
no, I'm not talking about the actress. I'm talking about like the lore because they were like the rumors are like, oh, it's not Kara, it's somebody else, and I'm like, oh. And then
yeah, okay, so yeah, we're just on different topics. And okay, so we're talking about the doll, you're talking about the lore. Okay.
Yeah, Kara. They said it's not Kara. It comes out and says that's Kara.
Yeah, I get
but
it.
It's just like
I'm gonna dream this stuff in my nightmares. I'm scared.
Yeah, that's gonna be in my nightmares too.
There's gonna be some really interesting stuff going on here with some of the toys.
Oh my god!
The Batmobile stuff, and then the Flash helmet is gonna be another really big big point here.
Look, it's got the little yellow
they're
goggles.
really
You
they're
can
really
push the
trying to
little
sell you on the
button.
fact that Michael Keaton is Batman
If I was
in
seven,
this
I
movie.
would
Like,
have
that's
bought
really
this
interesting.
shit.
The fact that they're really trying to sell you on Keaton, where it's just like, oh, I thought this was the Flash, not Batman into the Flashverse.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
just real
well,
quickly tell us. So we have one Flash object. And we have, there's 2, 3. We have 4. Oh, we got 5, 6. We got 7, 8. Okay, that's the same mug. It's not gonna count. That is not gonna count because it's got both. 9, 10.
They got to remind you whose movie it is.
11, 12. So we have 12 with the Flash, but then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, like, half the shit isn't even the Flash, and the other half is the Flash. Like,
Yeah,
but like,
But that's like
just want
that's
to say
because they're
something.
trying to really placate to that audience that it's just like, hey, look, Batman's here. Remember the one that you like? And it's just like, I do. But again, this doesn't really matter because I don't think anybody here is going to see the Flash movie. I just thought it was worth talking about.
I might watch it with a friend of mine who likes the Keaton Batman movies, but I'm on my own now. That's my take. Also, real quick, why is the Kara Zor-El doll, like the Kara Zor-El plushie thing, look like Wendy from South Park?
I'll tell you. I do think.
does that look like Wendy? Yeah, kind of. Vaguely.
I do think that it's going to be a very interesting movie.
No, it looks like that
Especially coming
teacher
out
that
because it's
Dan
going to be
got a
coming out
crush
here
on.
soon.
Like Wendy
I
hated
do
her
feel
for it.
it's going to be discussed heavily because again, people don't understand you don't have to support things to you shouldn't, or at least, you know, to support this is kind of weird to me. I'm not gonna go watch it because I'm kind of like, no, I'll wait for it on like video on demand or something. I'm not gonna pay to watch
it
this.
because I personally won't watch it because I already don't watch that many movies in theaters. I want to watch movies that I'm actually interested in seeing.
Like D&D. D&D was a good movie. That was a very good
movie. Need to get around that. Need to get around
D&D
that.
was
Super
very
Mario
good.
Brothers was also pretty good. You know, just saying.
But yeah.
Oh boy. All right. Well.
What? Vlad, what do you have against the Super Mario Brothers?
I don't have anything. I have crippling social anxiety disorder, and I can't get out into the world to actually do shit.
Okay, that's understandable. But you know what? It's not understandable. The fact that you haven't pirated the Super Mario Brothers Super movie yet.
That's because I'd rather directly support them with my money instead of be like a pirate. So.
Listen, once you're gonna watch that film, that masterful piece of cinema, you're gonna be there and just saying, Peach, understand. And then you're gonna sing the entire Peach song, and then you're gonna go on video on demand and you're gonna stream the entire film for like 300 times. Because it's the greatest film ever made.
I don't know. I think Andrei Tarkovsky has that film beat. But anyways, on to Jay and DeMatteis and Todd Nuck. Explore Magneto's character redefined era as headmaster in new solo series. That's a mouthful. So Magneto's getting his own series. And it looks pretty interesting. It's for the 60th anniversary of the X-Men. I think me and Alex last time compared this to like this is like the war across time for the X-Men. It's their big special moment, and it's gonna heavily focus Magneto. Yeah, it literally will like focus on like his struggles as a teacher, which is really interesting that Xavier thought it was a good idea to let the fucking Magneto take over the school in his absence.
Magneto was reformed at that. Magneto is not that bad of a guy, you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm just picking on it. Yeah, it's kind of interesting though. And apparently we have this chick here as Magneto, Iray, Dilemme Todd Nook or Nock. Don't know how to pronounce his name. But yeah,
Yes,
pretty cool design. Oh yeah, this is gonna be very interesting.
Yeah,
Also,
I
the
just
art
want to
is
see how
amazing.
Yeah, this cover is awesome. But like, to be honest, I just want to see how JMD, which is like the guy of like, oh my god, I love to write depressed characters. How he's gonna do with Magneto, which is like the depressed, tragic villain character for Marvel.
Yeah, I'm very interested in it as well. This is actually kind of cool. This is like it's actually got 4 issues, so it's like 1 issue less than War Across Time, but that's still kind of cool. What are your thoughts, Xavier? Since you're our X-Men guy.
I am absolutely excited for this. Just saying, I was like really interested in seeing this because I first discovered about it when I was browsing through Reddit. I think, yeah, it was Reddit. And then I just saw, oh, Magneto is getting a new series. I'm excited because I feel like Al Ewing should have done this series. Not just because I am a huge Al Ewing fan, but I feel like Al just understands Magneto in a way. Uh, and like he showed it perfectly in X Men Red, which is, by the way, the best comic of last year. I just want to be on record on saying that. But like, yeah, that was to be honest, Magneto is like one of my favorite X Men characters, and I cannot wait to see what JMD is gonna do with this series. Especially since like Magneto seems like the perfect character for DeMatteis, since he really likes introspection, he really likes sympathetic antagonistic characters, and Magneto is perfect for that.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah.
he is a perfect character for that. Because he's like really, he has like a lot of depth. There's a lot of depth to his character. So
Yeah.
I'm super interested
At
in
its
this.
at its core, Magneto is like someone who survived a tragedy, and it's paranoia and fear that this tragedy might happen again. This is striking him to be basically a menace to society, and that's kind of interesting. Also,
Yeah.
the fact that he basically hasn't been a villain in long stretches of his history, like for example, from 2004 to today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So, um,
Hmm.
let's see. Rocket, do you have any input on this?
Yeah, so if you can go scroll down a bit.
Yeah, what to the
Yeah,
array?
yeah. Yeah, like her design. So it looks like she has like fire powers. Um if they're gonna call her Magneto, she has to like her powers have to have some affiliation with metal.
It might. We don't know yet,
Well,
but I do see what you're saying.
fire melts metal.
Hmm,
Yeah, I mean, you need a
true, but
stupid
like
high temperature to melt steel, but yeah. Oh god,
you
that'd
could
make her
you could
really
also
fucking
say
powerful if she
that
can melt steel. But
mm,
it would
like I
be
always
interesting.
thought of like Magneto. That name is like he's like a human magnet. So
Yeah, we don't know. That is a very good point because it does look like she has fire powers. So we'll have to see what they do with her. She might have a combination of the two,
I'm right back.
which would play into the like she might naturally have like fire, like that's her like mutability or something. Like Iceman but with fire, and then she somehow develops Magneto's powers or something. I don't know, like latent mutant stuff. I don't know. We'll have to figure out though and read. Yeah, I do see what you're saying. MCU Man is muted right now, so he probably doesn't have anything to say right now.
Yeah, guys, just want to say this for a minute. Uh,
Yeah, what's up?
well, um, I'll probably need to go. If you can, we can like
Yeah, no, it's
talk a bit
fine. We
about
only have
what's
one
going
news subject, one more topic left, so it's perfectly fine, dude, if you have to hop off.
Okay. So I'm gonna do this topic and then I'll off.
Okay. So our final topic is discover the secrets of the Teen Titans. Or the Titans, I should say. And first of all, they gave Raven technically wings, so now she is the most based DC character, aside from Hawk Girl.
It's not Dick Grayson, so it's not Dick Grayson or Superman, so I
I
disagree.
mean, I disagree with you, because are they chicks with wings? Is Dick Grayson a chick with wings, or Superman, is he a chick with wings?
He's Nightwing. He's Nightwing,
But
and
does
has
he
a
have
better
wings? Does Nightwing have
He's
wings?
Nightwing. That's
But-
in his name. Wing.
But he doesn't have wings, and he's not a chick.
He has a great ass.
That doesn't make up for anything. Plus, I'm straight, so L plus ratio.
Would you date someone with no ass but with wings?
Yes!
You have shit taste, Vlad!
If a chick with wings comes up to me, I would be like, I'm down. Okay? We all know this about me. Everyone knows this. How can you not know this?
I know this, but I feel like you have shit taste.
I don't. You have shit taste. I have excellent taste. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. You know, I value women from things that aren't wings, you know?
I know. I do too, but you know, the minute you put wings on them, they're a 10 out of 10, okay?
Cringe!
I don't think
Superman
you...
is better written than all of these guys.
Anyways. So... Dark Crisis is over, the Justice League is no more, Dawn of DC is upon us. The Titans have stepped up to be the new premier superhero team, and all eyes are on them. But who exactly is Starfire, Raven, Donna Troy, and Beast Boy? Yeah, that's interesting. So this isn't the Teen Titans that you probably grew up with, like, watching the 2003 show. So for people that, like, are not familiar with the comic Teen Titans, this is going to be very interesting. And I think this is a good way to introduce these characters to newcomers, especially since they're taking over the role of the Justice League. Oh, what's up?
This reminds me of a little story I had with a friend of mine. Basically, I showed him like this. The news about the new Titan series by Tom Taylor, which I'm really excited for. And he said to me, I was surprised that Flash was a member of the Teen Titans. And yeah, because if you look at Wally West is a member of the Teen Titans. Also, this era is like perfect for jumping into Titans comics, which I wanted to do that for a bit. And yeah, it looks awesome.
One question.
Yeah, what's up?
Are these like legacy characters?
No, this is our current run. These guys are taking over the... This is like art, I think, but they are taking over the actual, like, the Justice League. It's being replaced by the Titans. I guess calling them Teen Titans isn't appropriate anymore. They're actually just the Titans.
Hey guys, need to go. I'm relatively busy, so I need to go soon. So see ya.
Yeah, see ya, dude. It's good having you here.
Thanks. See ya.
Alright, bye. Oh, look, Luca's back. Yo, MC man.
Oh, I heard the entire Titans conversation.
What are your opinions on
wanted to chime in
this?
about-
On Magneto?
I guess I'll read it.
No, we already covered. Oh, you guess you read it? Yeah. I might read it as well. Not too sure if I'm gonna read it immediately or if I'm gonna like.
I'm probably gonna give it like I'm probably gonna give it like a issue. I'm not terribly interested.
Yeah, I can see.
And then like, as for Tales of the Titans, Teen Titans was removed in their name.
Yeah, it was removed.
A few years
and
after.
now just the Titans.
Well, then it was just Titans because they weren't teens anymore.
Yeah. As
But
I was
yeah.
saying, they basically gave Raven wings, so we all know how I feel about that. And now that Xavier isn't here, my opinion is valid. His is not. Anyways.
Right on.
Oh boy. So yeah, we have This looks really interesting. They're like really showing off the art that they were doing for this stuff. And I'm guessing Starfire is going to be the central part of this because they really lean in with 3 different variant covers that they're doing, or 3 covers that they're doing with her on it. So this will be interesting. I might actually check this out. This might be my actual first DC book that I buy. Will be one of these books.
Yeah.
I might read Raven's book. I'm more interested in Raven than all of them. In all seriousness, I just kind of like the character. And I've kind of related with the character more than the other characters, so that's probably why I'm going to pick it up. Mostly because I relate to the character more than I think the other ones I kind of relate to. I kind of related to Starfire and Cyborg a little bit back in the show, but seeing that they're not a major part of it anymore, it's like I'll be probably looking at Ravens the most, but if I like it, I might touch like Beast Boys just to see what that's about because I'm just very curious to see. But yeah, this is looking kind of interesting. Absolutely interesting. So I think that's everything that we have. Yeah, that is everything that we have. So do we have any like closing thoughts here?
Really good topics. Kind of excited to see some of these come to fruition. As I said, really excited for Marvel Comics, Marvel Age 1000, and the Spider-Man movies coming to Disney Plus. I got to be honest with you, I'm even more hyped for the Stan Lee thing because I just want to see like what was the involvement with some of these things.
Oh yeah.
And the Marvel, just real quick, I want to touch on this. The Marvel Comics app shutting down is kind of disappointing.
It is.
I feel like that was the one thing that was like universal, like you could access it anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Which is like now they're kind of like, they're kind of condensing it just to Marvel Unlimited. And while I feel as though it's the good part about it is that you get to support small businesses and stuff like that, and you get to be rewarded as a Marvel fan, right?
Yeah.
The thing that really kind of breaks my heart is that a lot of people don't have access to this because Marvel Unlimited isn't all over the world. I feel like, with certain restrictions withstanding, I get it, but it is kind of sad. And hopefully they do kind of start releasing it in other regions. It'd be really nice if they did that. So
I really hope their digital option does have some stuff because I actually really do prefer reading digitally.
same. I like physical, but digital is just so it's so convenient. You could just do whatever you need to.
I do like having physical just so I can kind of like flex that I have it, and say, hey, look, I'm a fan. I have these issues, But it is what it is. At the end of the day, you can't really trust companies nowadays, but I at least trust Marvel a little bit here on this that they're going to make the right choice. Even though it's a really dumb decision to say I trust Marvel. But, so far they've handled it pretty well with what they've been doing. Yeah, so I think that's everything here. Definitely we will be doing our normal comic book review tomorrow. It might be a short 30-minute thing. I really want to talk about the Wasp. I want to reread through the Wasp because man, oh man, was that good. So yeah, I think that's everything, guys, and I'm glad that we had y'all here, and I hope to see y'all here tomorrow, and whenever we do another stream. So y'all have a great day.
You have a good one. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for joining.